I have never been so disappointed in my entire life, Samantha. You call yourself a mother?
Nancy, what's going on? It's not like you to get so angry at me. Could you please calm down and tell me what I did to upset you?
You know exactly what you did. I didn't think I'd have to explain this to you, but once a child is born, you are no longer living for yourself. You are living as a mother. From that point on, every single moment of your life is and must be centered around caring for your child. That's what mothers do.
I understand all of that, Nancy, and I agree entirely. So I'm really not sure what your issue with me is.
Don't lie to me. You have made it crystal clear with your behavior that you don't care in the slightest about becoming a proper mother.
Nancy, would you please stop berating me for long enough to tell me what I did? You're clearly very angry at me for something, but I have no idea what that something is. I know I'm not perfect, but I feel as though I've been a perfectly decent mother so far.
Decent? If this is your idea of decent, I'd be terrified to find out what qualifies as indecent in your eyes. You have no right to call yourself a mother. My son marrying an awful, neglectful, uncaring harlot like yourself was the worst thing that ever happened to me.
Did you just call me a harlot? This has gone on for far too long, Nancy. You need to explain what this is all about right now.
What on earth is your problem? Oh, you think I've given you enough of a tongue lashing, do you? I haven't even begun to tell you everything you ought to be told. You make me sick to my stomach.
Okay, Martin, duty calls. You need to do something about your mother. She has gone absolutely insane. She just texted me out of the blue right now and has been saying some terrible things to me. She's telling me I'm an awful mother and that she regrets you marrying me. She even called me a harlot.
What? She did? I don't understand. She's never spoken like that to you before.
Yeah, I'm almost too shocked and confused to even be angry at her right now. What's her problem? Seriously, I have no idea why she would start laying into me like that, and she refuses to explain herself. She's still lighting up my phone with notifications as we speak.
All right, let's calm down for a minute and take stock of things. Maybe this has something to do with her wanting to meet the baby? I know she's been asking me basically every day when we're going to come over and visit her. It might just be the stress and anxiousness of wanting to hold her own grandchild. You know how excited she's been about our baby. So I don't know, maybe your frustration reached a boiling point and she's venting at you?
Are you kidding me? What are you saying, that it's my fault she's insulting me for staying with my parents to recover from the birth? She knew this was my plan from the very beginning. It's not like we haven't told her about it. And didn't she do the same thing when she gave birth to her kids? What gives her the right to criticize me like this?
Please, Samantha, I know you're upset, but let's just calm down and think about what the best way to handle this situation is.
I mean, seriously?
She's so excited to meet her grandchild that she calls me a harlot and says she wishes I wasn't her daughter-in-law?
I might be a little more accepting of her frustrations if she had even sent me a text to congratulate me on the birth or ask me how I'm doing, but nope, she hasn't even spoken to me since the birth.
I'll bet she was just trying to give you your space, you know? She doesn't want you to see her as an overbearing mother-in-law. Not to mention, Mom was never one to do much texting anyway. I bet she really wants to wait until she comes and sees you in person to talk to you about the birth.
Oh, yeah, sure. That's a great explanation. You nailed it, Martin. The reason she's calling me a harlot and a terrible mother is because she's concerned for my well-being.
Come on, give me a break, Samantha. I don't have any idea what's going on either. Look, I'll go and talk to my mom to see what's up, okay? You just relax and leave everything to me. I know you're still exhausted from the birth, so try not to think about my mom too much. It'll only cause you more stress. I gotta get back to work now. I'll talk to you later.
Samantha, when I texted you last week, I thought I couldn't possibly be any more disappointed in you than I was. But congratulations, dear, you've proven me wrong. Perhaps I didn't make my point clear enough. Should I use even stronger language than before until you get the point?
This is not what I needed today.
I'm a mother myself, Samantha, so believe me when I say that I know exactly how difficult pregnancy and labor can be on a woman. I know you'd like to take as much time as you can to relax and recover. When my youngest was born, I left my older children in my husband's care. That's totally normal. It's best for a mother to have as much time as possible to lie down, rest, and bond with her newborn baby. And I have been more than willing to help you out whenever I can. This is my grandchild we're talking about, after all. When I spoke to you last week, I was furious. Now, I can't even bring myself to get angry. I'm simply disappointed, devastated. You have abused our kindness for far too long, Samantha, both mine and my son's.
In what way have I abused your kindness? I haven't asked you to do one single thing for us since the birth, so I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about.
You know what? I've changed my mind. I am furious with you. You insensitive, selfish, mooching little parasite. How dare you say such an idiotic thing to me after leaving your newborn infant in my care every single day? What? Also, you can go out and spend time with your friends? Oh, it's positively scandalous. I should contact the authorities and have you investigated for neglect. If you've got enough energy to go off gallivanting with your friends, then you have enough energy to care for your own child. I have never in my entire life met a mother so lowly, so vile, so cruel as you, Samantha.
Back up, Nancy. I've been leaving my baby with you every day. What are you talking about? I haven't even done that once.
Are you actually going to try and play dumb with me? I won't let you get away with that little charade. I'm the one who's been taking care of your baby all day, not you.
But that doesn't make any sense. I've never taken my baby to your house.
I was trying to be a good mother to my son and a good grandmother to that baby. I was trying to be generous to you, Samantha. But if you're going to use me as a babysitting service for you to go out on the town, then I'm not going to help you anymore. And now you have the gall to pretend like none of that ever happened. Do you take me for some kind of imbecile? Honestly, what was Martin thinking, marrying a low-class woman like yourself? I didn't raise him to be so easily fooled by a lying, lazy woman.
Nancy, stop this barrage of texts for one moment and listen to me. Okay? Okay. I am currently at my parents' house, not out on the town with my friends, and my baby is with me.
What?
I've never taken my baby to meet you, Nancy. I was so thrown off guard by your rant last week, I never really had the chance to say my piece, so let me be very clear. I have absolutely no idea what you are getting so angry at me about.
Wait, you're at your parents' house? And you say your baby is there with you? That's impossible. Your baby is here with me.
No, Nancy, I can assure you my baby is currently sleeping on the couch right next to where I'm sitting. I can take a picture and send it to you if you'd like. I'll even put today's newspaper in the picture. Would that be enough to prove to you that I'm telling the truth?
I don't understand.
My daughter was born 2 weeks ago today. Martin is very busy at work and will be for the foreseeable future, so I'm staying at my parents' house because it's closer to us. I've been wanting to drop by your house to let you meet the baby, but I'm still not fully recovered from labor, so I wanted to rest at home for a while longer.
I'm confused. Martin's been coming by the house every day to drop off your baby with me. And wait, did you say that she was born 2 weeks ago? Wasn't your baby born last month?
Last month? No, she was born exactly 2 weeks ago. Why would you think she was born last month? Martin told me he was going to give you a call himself to tell you the baby was born. Did you maybe misunderstand him, or perhaps he misspoke?
He never gave us a call at all. He simply brought the baby over to the house one morning. He said it was an emergency and he needed me to look after the baby for a while.
Go on.
According to Martin, your labor was much harder than expected, and the doctors told you that you would need to remain on bed rest for as long as possible to recover. Martin's company wouldn't approve his request for maternity leave, though, so he wouldn't be able to stay at home with you. And so, like I said, I've been looking after your baby for most of the last entire month.
I see. Keep going.
I got suspicious, though, because it seemed like your recovery was dragging on for far too long. A few days to a week I could understand, but an entire month? Oh, that's just unheard of. So I confronted Martin to ask him what was really going on. And that's when he told me that you had lied about needing me to recover and were simply spending time with your friends. He said you were fed up with holding back from doing all the things you wanted to do but couldn't while you were pregnant and wanted some time for yourself. So you were making Martin do all the work caring for your baby by himself. Are you saying that isn't true?
Give me just a moment, Nancy. I need to go and have a conversation with my husband. I want to hear what he has to say for himself. Martin? Answer your phone, Martin. Either that or send me a text message, your choice. You are not so busy at work that you can't take 30 seconds to send a text message to me saying when you can talk.
Oh, hey there, Samantha. Sorry I took so long to get back to you. I've been absolutely swamped here at work. Man, am I exhausted from all the work I've been doing.
You can drop the act, Martin. I know you've just been avoiding having to face me. I heard a rather interesting story from your mother yesterday. Apparently, you've been bringing a baby to her house every day and making her take care of it. You told her it was our baby, but you and I both know it isn't. So, tell me, Martin, whose baby is it?
Okay, I know it looks bad, but please, if you'll give me just a second to explain.
I don't want to hear an explanation, Martin. I want the truth. You're going to tell me what the hell is going on right here, right now. Who is the baby you've been leaving with your mother? And why did you tell your mother that I was shoving off our baby onto you, then going out with my friends every day?
Calm down, Samantha, okay? How do you expect me to give you an answer when you keep pushing me like that?
Calm down? Calm down? How do you expect me to calm down now that I know what you've been doing? You've been leaving someone else's child with your mother and telling her it was her grandchild.
Okay, first of all, it is her grandchild. The baby that I've been leaving with her is mine. So I may have maybe bent the truth a little bit on some other stuff, but that much was true.
It's yours? The baby is yours?
Yeah, I've been meaning to talk to you about it for a while, but I was afraid of how you'd react. The thing is, I found out that my girlfriend got pregnant and had the baby without telling me. Then come last month, all of a sudden she came over and dumped the baby on my doorstep. She was like, I gave birth to it so you could take care of the rest.
So, let me get this straight. You've been cheating on me, and your mistress got pregnant. Martin? You cheating bastard! How long has this been going on?
Hey, come on, don't get so mad at me. It's not like I was ever serious about her. It was all just for fun. You're still my number one girl, and you always will be.
If I were really your number one, then you wouldn't have gone out of your way to find yourself a number two.
I'm sorry, okay?
And the baby was born almost the same time as ours? I can't believe you passed that kid off as ours, Martin.
I had no choice. My mom was the only person who I could get to look after it. I keep trying to get a hold of my girlfriend, but she never answers my calls or texts. And it's not like I could tell my mom the truth, could I? She'd be furious with me.
And so instead you decided to lie to her and make her think I was the irresponsible one? I am so mad at you right now, I think I'm gonna puke. You are not just comically evil, you are also freakishly stupid. Did you think you would get away with this? I was going to come back home eventually, Martin, and once I did, I would have found out about that baby.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to buy time is all. I thought if I could just delay you finding out, I might be able to come up with a plan, and after a lot of thinking, I finally came up with a great idea. How about we raise both of the babies as our own?
Both?
They were born so close to each other we could tell everyone they're twins and no one would suspect a thing. What are people gonna do, ask for a birth certificate to prove they're twins? No, nobody will ever suspect a thing.
I'm trying to think. Have you ever done or said anything so mind-blowingly stupid as that to me before? I mean, the idea that we should just lie to our friends and both children for their entire lives alone is outrageous enough as it is. But how do you plan on explaining things to my parents? I'm at their house right now. They already know that we only have one baby.
Shoot, that's right. I don't know, maybe we could just ask them to keep their mouths shut about it? Worst case scenario, we can give both sets of parents some money in exchange for their silence if need be. But we can think of a long-term solution for them later. In the meantime, all we need to do is make sure we keep our story straight with everyone else.
I cannot believe what I am seeing. You want me to raise your love child? And on top of that, you want me to lie to my friends? And you're even thinking about paying off my parents to hide your infidelity? I would never agree to do any of that. I'm divorcing you.
Divorce?
You can't seriously be surprised by that. Did you expect me to forgive you and continue our lives as usual after finding out you were cheating on me? And even worse, you had a child with her.
Hey, that's not my fault. It's not like I wanted to have a kid with her. She had the kid all by herself. She never even told me she was pregnant.
You do understand how babies are made, right? A woman can't just make a baby appear out of thin air. You were perfectly aware of how things could turn out when you slept with her. I'm done listening to your pathetic excuses, Martin. We're getting divorced, and that's final.
I can't believe you, Samantha. Like, come on, I'm trying to make the best of a bad situation over here. You're not making any effort at all to try and salvage our relationship. You can't just up and divorce me like that. And I mean, think about it. If you do divorce me, then you're the one who's gonna regret it.
Oh yeah? What makes you say that?
You're just a housewife. You quit your job just a few months into your pregnancy, right? Ugh, you were so whiny back then, always complaining about feeling sick or having a headache. So if you divorce me, you're gonna be single and unemployed with a baby to support all by yourself. You think you can replace me? Go ahead and try.
I can manage just fine without a lying, cheating husband like you.
We'll see about that. You're gonna be living on the streets within a month. Is that really the kind of life you want your baby to have? Living in a cardboard box and foraging through a dumpster for food scraps? I don't get why you won't just raise my kid together with ours. Everything'll work out great. Women love babies, right? You should be thrilled to get to take care of two. So forget all that nonsense about divorcing me, okay? If you don't want to have your daughter grow up in a homeless shelter, that is.
Getting an idiot like you out of her life is the best possible decision Samantha can make for her baby. Now quit blathering on like a moron and give that poor girl a divorce like she wants.
Huh?
Let me tell you something about Samantha. She went through so much pain to carry your baby inside of her for 9 months and finally bring her into the world. And how do you repay her for all of that? By cheating on her and demanding she care for your love child? I didn't raise you to be this much of a nincompoop, Martin. I never want to see your face again.
Hold up, what's going on? This isn't Samantha, is it? Mom, is that you? But that's impossible. This is Samantha's number. Samantha's at her parents' house and she's still recovering from labor, so she couldn't get over to my mom's house by herself.
You know, Martin, there happens to be this wonderful invention called a car. Perhaps you've heard of them. I drove over to Samantha's parents' house, dimwit.
Oh no. Mom, it really is you?
I wanted to see for myself whether Samantha was telling the truth, so I headed out there first thing in the morning. Oh, and don't worry about your other child. She's safe and sound at the hands of my neighbors.
No. This is terrible. Why did you have to go see Samantha?
Why else to see my real grandchild? And am I ever glad I did? She is absolutely adorable.
What's that supposed to mean? Real grandchild? My other kid's your grandchild too, you know. She's my daughter and I'm your son.
Simply carrying your genes means nothing to me. My grandchild is the one who was the product of my son and his wife. I would never accept the child you spawned with some hussy you met in a nightclub as my grandchild.
Mom, how can you say something so cruel?
Oh, you think I'm being cruel, do you? What about what you did to Samantha, Martin? I'd say that's 10 times more cruel than anything I've said or done. How could you sleep with another woman when you have Samantha at home? And how could you lie to your own mother about having a child out of wedlock? And to top it all off, you tried to threaten her into staying with you? Every single aspect of your behavior today has been utterly despicable.
But, Mom,
Where did I go wrong, Martin? How did you become such a vile, lowly man?
Would you stop acting like I'm the only one at fault here? Sure, I cheated. That was wrong. I can admit that. But I didn't think she was gonna get pregnant. She hid that from me, too. I'm the victim here.
The only victim in all of this is Samantha, and you're going to divorce her immediately. You have no right to call yourself either her husband or your daughter's father.
I can't get divorced. I won't get divorced. You can't make me.
Oh, can't I? Well then, I might just have to have you return the money I gave you to celebrate the baby's birth. All $30,000 of it. Give it back immediately.
What?
You told me that you were going to tell Samantha about my gift and tell her I was wishing her a safe and speedy recovery.
But when I asked Samantha about that, she said you never did either of those things. Would you mind explaining to me why that is, Martin?
I guess I forgot to tell her.
My goodness, you have a convenient memory. If that's the case, then my next question is this. What did you do with that money, Martin? I gave you that gift under the false pretense that the child you were bringing to my house was yours and Samantha's. It was also meant to be used on yours and Samantha's child. However, since Samantha had no idea about the money, that tells me you have broken both of my conditions. Since the two of you are going to get divorced now, then I would like you to return that gift to me. Right now.
Okay, well, returning the whole amount right away is gonna be pretty difficult. You see, I kinda spent some of it.
Oh, and how much is some of it?
A lot of it.
A lot of it?
Most of it.
Most of it?
All of it. I'm sorry, I spent it all already. I bought a new phone. I thought since you gave me so much, I'd be okay using a little on myself. But then my girlfriend started threatening me, and so I had to give her all the rest.
What?
That woman is awful. She just drops this kid on my doorstep and tells me to take care of it. And then she demands $20,000 as a push present. She said if I didn't pay, she'd bring the baby to my office and tell all my coworkers about my affair. So I went and got the envelope you gave me and handed it over to her right away.
I see. Thank you for your honesty. None of that is any of my problem, though. You're still going to return every last cent to me. If you don't, then I'm disowning you, and you'll never speak to me again.
Mom, no, you can't do that. I'm your only son, Mom. You can't disown me.
I have no interest in leaving any of my estate to a backstabbing man like you. I'll change my will and leave everything to Samantha and her daughter.
Mom, please.
If you would like to avoid that fate, then I suggest you give Samantha a divorce as quickly as possible. Make your choice, Martin. Divorce Samantha, or lose your parents and your money.
I'll call my lawyer to draw up the divorce papers right away, ma'am. I'll have him rush them over as soon as he's done. Hey, Samantha. So I know we're divorced and all now, but is there any chance we can give our marriage another try?
No.
But Samantha, I'm a total wreck without you. All of a sudden, I'm having to balance both my job and taking care of this kid.
I thought your mom was helping you out with the baby. She told me that she felt terrible for the situation the baby was born into and wanted to do what she could to keep her from turning out like you.
Well, yeah, she's helping me out, but she's being super strict with me. I mean, she took my bank card without my permission and withdrew half of my savings account to give to you. She told me I owed it to you to divide up the assets as quick as possible.
Ah, so Nancy was the one who wired me that money. I thought there was no way you'd be willing to do that.
Plus, she makes me pay her to look after the kid.
Wow, really?
Yeah, $20 an hour. Since she's watching the baby for 6 hours, that makes $120 a day. So I have to pay her like $2,000 a month just to go to work. That's more than half of my salary all going to her.
That sounds like a fair rate to me. She's got tons of experience taking care of kids. If you don't like it, you can always put her in daycare.
I don't have time to find a decent daycare to send her to. I asked my mom to look for one, but she said she'd charge me a finder's fee of $10,000.
Considering the amount of income she'd be losing, I'd say that's fair too.
Don't you get it? She's bleeding me dry. That's why I need to marry you again, so you can look after the baby for free. And cook my meals, do my laundry, clean the house, wife stuff.
My goodness, that is a tempting offer. I get to look after your love child and do all your chores? That sounds great!
Right, I knew we'd see eye to eye. I might have been kind of lazy back when we were married, but I promise, this time I'll be a completely different man. You can quit your job search too, that's gotta be a pain and a half. So, what do you say, Samantha?
Upon careful consideration, I'm going to have to decline. I already found a job, so I don't need anything from you. Like I told you, I'll be fine by myself.
What? You already got a job?
With my resume, it was pretty easy, actually. So, goodbye, Martin. Take good care of the baby. She's counting on you. Martin tried balancing childcare and work for some time after that, but eventually he realized it wasn't going to work out. He sold his house and moved back in with his parents. However, now his mother is charging him rent on top of her babysitting fee. After his alimony payments to me get subtracted from his paycheck, he's only left with about $300 each month to spend for himself. Despite being divorced, Nancy still comes by pretty regularly to see us. In spite of all that happened, my daughter is still her granddaughter. And Nancy is a wonderful, loving grandmother. She's always bringing all sorts of gifts, clothes, baby food, toys, you name it. I told her she didn't need to spend so much money on me, that just her coming by was enough. But she told me that I don't need to worry about the money, since if she started running low on cash, she could always raise her babysitting fee.
Thank you for watching all the way until the end. If you felt good after watching this video, please like the video. If not, please leave a comment and give us your feedback. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Your comments and likes help this channel grow. We hope you enjoy our other stories as well.
Hey sis, are you there? I heard something was going on with you, but I'm glad that everything seems to have settled down now. I always knew that you were so nice, but I can't believe that you put yourself through all of that just for me. You really are too kind. Do you know that? Tracy, I really wasn't doing what I did for your sake, you know. I broke off my engagement with my fiance because I caught you two having an affair with each other. Well, I know, but you were engaged to a CEO. You know that it's always been my dream to marry a rich man, right? I don't even know what to say to something like that. Is that supposed to be an excuse? Well, I've just always wanted to live like a spoiled princess, you know? I really don't know. What in the world does that even mean in this day and age? Besides, where did a dream like this even come from? It isn't like we were horribly poor or fantastically rich growing up. Well, I know, but that doesn't mean that I can't want to marry someone who is really rich, because if I did that, then I would never have to work another day in my life. And now I found that man after all this time. It really is like a real-life Cinderella story, isn't it? I don't remember the scene in Cinderella where one of the ugly sisters steals her prince away. Are you sure we were watching the same movie growing up? Oh, come on. You can't actually be mad at me for taking him for myself, right? Don't you know that all's fair in love and war? You've just got to get over this. You think this is something someone can just get over? This isn't a toy or something that you stole from me this time. We aren't kids anymore. You're right. We're adults, and I think that you're forgetting your place right now. I stole your fiance from you, and that's a fact. You just need to accept the fact that you've been dumped for the better woman. You think I've been dumped? Please. I wouldn't have taken Jerome back if he came begging for me to take him back. I wonder if you have any idea just how pathetic and desperate you sound. I really don't care what you have to say about this anymore. I am through with the both of you. You really don't get it. You aren't the one calling the shots here. Jerome left you for me. Do you understand that? And it's because you weren't enough for him. He chose me over you because it's clear that I'm the better choice. And that's why we had an affair behind your back, because you couldn't make your fiancé happy and now he's left you. I really don't care how you try and frame it. It is true that Jerome cheated on me and that's why we're not getting married. But do you see me crying and moaning over losing him? Whatever, I just know that you've gotten better at hiding it now. But you've always been a little crybaby ever since we were little. Now who's the one trying to act all tough? We both know that you were the one who would resort to tears right away. You're just trying to project your feelings onto me, but it's not going to work. You think that I'm crying over getting your fiancé? As if. I think it's hilarious. I couldn't be happier about this. You have no idea how long it's been my dream to marry someone like a CEO and never have to work again. It's like my whole life has been leading to this moment. You really have no idea what you're talking about, do you? But whatever, what's done is done. Oh, come on! You can't just be taking it that easy. Can't you send me a message in all caps or shout at me over the phone or something at least? I'm not going to do that, but you should know that Jerome is not a CEO. What in the world are you talking about? Of course he's a CEO. He's the boss of the company that you work for, isn't that right? Actually, we have joint management of the company, if you must know. Hold on a second. What is that supposed to mean? How can you both manage the company? Well, I actually started the company with my startup capital. Jerome just snuck his way up the ranks using connections of his. The company is, however, all mine.
This doesn't make any sense to me at all. What in the world are you talking about?
I mean that when we first met while working for different companies, I had just established mine, and as it grew, Jerome showed interest in helping out. Then we started to talk about getting married. After I got pregnant, the board insisted that I have a co-manager in case anything happened to me, and they selected Jerome.
So then, you two had the same job at the same time, but the company was really yours? But then, I don't get it. Are you telling me that you're also the CEO of a company?
I would say I'm more CEO than Jerome. After all, it was my money that began the company. And I'd double check about Jerome still being a CEO since he would have been fired by now.
Fired? What do you mean by that?
I mean that once the board found out that Jerome was cheating on me, they asked him to step down and began a full investigation into him. It turns out that he was using company money to take you out for meals and on dates. So the board had more than enough evidence to fire Jerome right then and there. In fact, I believe all of this happened last week.
Last week? Are you sure? He hasn't told me anything about any of this.
Well, you might want to go and try talking to him about some of this in that case.
But then, doesn't this mean that Jerome isn't even a CEO and that I won't actually be marrying a really rich guy?
That's what you're worried about? I tell you that Jerome was embezzling from the company, something he could go to jail for, and that's all you care about? You're just lucky the board already agreed not to press charges as long as Jerome pays the money back. Of course, we are prepared to press charges if that doesn't happen.
But I was supposed to live life like a princess. I thought I had stolen your man away from you with my charm and good looks. But now you're telling me that the man I stole from you doesn't even have a job?
Yeah, and I don't imagine he has much in the way of savings given how lavishly Jerome likes to live.
But why didn't you say anything about this to me sooner? You should have warned me about him. Ugh, I never want to talk to you again.
Are you really saying that to me? Oh, that message isn't showing up as read. Well, okay then. Have a nice life, sis.
Hey Mabel, are you there? What the heck is the matter with you, huh? Why the heck did you have to go and tell your sister that I wasn't the CEO of our company anymore, huh?
First of all, it isn't our company. It's always been my company. Second of all, don't be upset just because I told my sister the truth. Not only about your job, but also all about how you were fired. After all, it's not like I ever promised that I wouldn't tell her.
You little... Don't you realize what you've done? Now she doesn't want to marry me anymore. You've messed up my whole life with this.
Oh, so you mean you've managed to fumble marrying 2 women now? You've really got to work on that, Jerome.
You would like to think so, wouldn't you? But it shows what you know.
And just what is that even supposed to mean, huh?
I mean that I wanted to see how you would react. The truth is that I talked to your sister and smoothed things out. So we're still going to be getting married.
And just what kind of lies did you have to tell her to get her to go along with that?
I told her that the reason I chose to step down from my position as CEO of our company is so that I can do and start my own company. And I've already been preparing for this for a long time. After all, I was the one who took our company to where it is today. I know all about how to raise a successful company from the ground up now.
You're really going to start a company all by yourself?
What? Like it's hard? I'm going to start a company and it's going to grow far beyond what you could ever imagine. I'll dominate the industry and become untouchable.
Well, you might know how to found a company, but that doesn't mean that you're any good as a manager. And I don't think you've ever shown any promise there anyways.
Are you kidding me? You're just jealous because I left you and our company to go start my own with my new woman.
You can't actually think that I'm jealous of either you or my sister, right? You realize how stupid you sound, don't you?
Whatever. You're the one who doesn't know what you're talking about. Tracy and I are going to live happily ever after while your company just crumbles without me. Just stay out of my way and never try to interfere with my life again.
I really don't care what you and my sister choose to do with your lives, but you do realize that you need capital to start a business, right? Do you have that kind of money? Because I know that you still owe me for the legal fees from your affair.
You think a genius like me needs to waste my brain power on small details like that? I have big plans, and when I tell them to the bank, they're going to have to give me my loan. And I'll get the loan and start my company and have everything up and running in 6 months.
6 months, huh? You really think you can handle doing all that in such little time? Well, in that case, I want you to pay me what you owe me right now.
This is why you always used to get on my nerves. The second you saw that I was going anywhere in life, you would always find a way to try and hold me back. Why can't you just be more like your sister and let me do whatever I want without making little comments on it?
If you've got a problem with constructive criticism now, just wait until you're in a boardroom meeting. Besides, you knew that I was like this when we first started dating. Did you really expect me to change?
You know, I never even wanted to be engaged to you, but I knew that it was the only way to hold on to my position and my power. But then I met your sister, and I realized I didn't have to sell my soul to live like this. What your sister and I have is true love, and it's going to give us the success we need.
Well, I really do hate to stomp on your dreams, but let's just hope that it's true love that you two have.
Of course it is! We've tied together and nothing is ever going to come between us.
Well, good luck with that. I just hope that you two can stay together long enough to be married.
You'll see. We'll prove you wrong. We'll prove everyone wrong. And then you'll realize that you should have never underestimated me. Just now that I'm never going to work with your company again. So when I'm dominating the industry, you'll have to struggle just to keep the lights on.
Well, you have to have found your own company and get it off the ground first, so good luck with that. And do hurry up and send me the money that you owe me, okay?
Oh, you'll just have to wait for that. But don't worry. Once I have all my success, I'll be sure to pay you back that money with interest. And then you'll realize that that's only a taste of the wealth I'll have. Then you'll see how wrong you were about me.
Hey there, Mabel. I just thought you should know Jerome and I moved in together. At first, I was worried about all the things you were telling me about him, like how he wasn't a real CEO or how he embezzled from the company. But then he finally started his own company, and now we've moved into an amazing condo, and we're the happiest that we've ever been. It's amazing. You moved into a condo together with Jerome? Because I haven't even heard anything about him creating a new company. Well, I suppose that's probably because Jerome just runs in different circles from you, doesn't he? This is where we're going to move into. He told me that he already paid for the condo and that they're just getting it ready for us. Oh, wait a second. I think I recognize that view. Isn't that Mammoth Towers? You mean even you've heard of this amazing luxury condo building? Yeah, I have, actually. Do you know what room you're going to be living in? And just why would I share that with you? Don't tell me that you're going to try to break in and try to steal Jerome away from me. Because you should know that the building has guards in it and someone like you won't be allowed in. Right. Well, in that case, I guess you shouldn't worry about telling me the room number. Whatever. If you must know, the room number is 2305. So you're on the 23rd floor then? That's right, we're almost at the very top of the building. I've never gotten to stay in a place so nice. We're finally going to have our happily ever after. Well, it's just kind of funny because that's my unit. Wait, what? What in the world are you talking about? Do you really think I'm going to buy a lie like that? You have to come up with something better. I'm not kidding you at all. I own unit number 2305 in Mammoth Towers. Oh, just stop it already. Jerome sent me that photo from his phone. He was inside the unit and everything. There's no way that you own the building that we're about to move into. That doesn't make any sense at all. Well, yes, I'll say the interior does look like it's changed a lot. Although you should know that I got that unit because we bought it from Jerome's parents. but the building was under his dad's name for a while.
Well, now you're not making any sense at all. How can it be your unit if it's under Jerome's dad's name?
Okay, I guess I'll have to explain the whole thing then. So that building was finished about a year ago. Around then, Jerome's dad thought to invest in the building company, thinking he would see some big returns. He bought a unit hoping to make a quick buck flipping it, but he wasn't able to pay for the whole thing. So then he came to me and asked me to buy it.
So then you're telling me that you bought this unit from Jerome's dad who couldn't afford to get one himself?
Pretty much, yeah. But now that I look at this photo, I can see that this is from when Jerome's dad still took care of the place. And that's why it's so different from how I have the unit looking now.
But this can't be right. I mean, Jerome said that he and I would be moving in there. I already have my bags packed and everything.
Well, I don't know what to tell you, except that it's not Jerome's place to choose what to do with it.
How could you do this to us? What's the matter with you?
I didn't do anything. In fact, you were the one who said that you never wanted to talk to me again. So how is this all coming back on to me?
Because we're supposed to go and live in that big condo building. We were supposed to have our happily ever after there. Why do you always have to ruin things for me, Mabel? You're the worst sister ever.
Look, I know this is probably a lot for you to take right now, but you can't blame this on me.
But it's not just now. You've always stolen everything I wanted from me, even when we were little.
I didn't steal anything from you. In fact, you would always take from me. Whenever I tried to get it back, you would instantly start crying to get Mom and Dad on your side.
But it's not fair. I want to live in that big condo. It should be all mine.
Well, it was never yours nor Jerome's to begin with. A while ago, Jerome's dad needed money right away and offered to sell me the condo for the price he had put into it. I bought it and have been living there for a while. That's how I know that the interior looks different now. I don't know why Jerome thinks you two are moving in, but it's just not going to happen. If anything, I think that this is just one small part of a much larger lie that he's telling you. But this really isn't my problem anymore. Please don't bother me with stuff like this ever again. It turns out that when it was time to move, Jerome ended up taking my sister to go and move in with his parents. Apparently, they were in serious debt, and this was part of the plan to use Jerome and Tracy to pay off their debts. Tracy was messaging me, begging to help get her out of there, but I just read her texts and then blocked her number. She tried living with them for a couple of months, just hoping that this was all part of Jerome's plan to start his own company. Of course, he had never really even begun the process and was lying to Tracy this whole time about his intentions. I heard later from my parents that they ended up bailing out Tracy and rescuing her from her in-laws' house. Now, both my mom and dad are keeping a very close eye on Tracy and making sure she finds a job and learns some responsibility. As for me, life went on as normal. Nothing Jerome or Tracy did really ever had a chance to affect me. I told my parents that I wouldn't be doing anything to support my sister, and they understood and agreed with me.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.
Are you okay, Christy? I heard that you just got into an accident.
Well, thank you for checking on me, Angelica, but I think I'm doing okay now. I'm certainly not going to die from it.
Oh, so you're alive, Christy. But you'd got into a bad car accident, so are you really okay? I heard that what happened looked horrible from the outside.
I just happened to really cut my head up, so there was a lot of blood. I'd been going at a green light and a car not paying attention ran right into me. At first I thought it was all my fault, but soon after I knew what had happened. But really, I'm doing just fine now. I may be covered in a lot of cuts and bruises, but there's no broken bones or anything serious.
Is that so? So then that means you'll be able to make it to your wedding tomorrow still.
Well, I think that having my wedding tomorrow is going to be a little tough for me now. A lot of me is still stiff and sore, and the doctor wants me to stay in the hospital for the night to make sure there are no hidden issues. He's saying to at least stay for a week because there was some internal bleeding around my stomach that he'd like to watch.
So that means that tomorrow's wedding is going to be canceled. After all that work you put in, it'd be a huge waste.
And because of how beautiful you had everything, I was so looking forward to it. I know, it's really sad, but that's what'll have to happen. And I'm sure that your fiance is going to be sad as well. I wonder, and just hear me out here, but I wonder if it'd be such a bad thing if someone was to take your place as the bride?
Huh? You know for a fact that wouldn't be right. Why the hell would you say that?
I was just joking. Well, if you plan to go forward with canceling the wedding, you should get that all taken care of sooner rather than later, right? If you don't mind, I can do all of that for you. That way you can sit back and relax while your body heals.
Huh? You want to do it, Angelica?
You only just got into that accident, so it's not fair to make you work even harder now. Just leave canceling the wedding and everything that goes along with that to me.
I feel happy that you'll do that, but I'm sorry. I'm with Jared right now, so we can both handle it.
No, you are injured, and so you have to relax and sleep. And I'm literally asking you to let me do it. I can make it all happen and you won't even have to move a finger. And I have all the time in the world, so this won't be a problem at all. I can work together with Jared even and get all the paperwork filled out for you guys to cancel.
Are you sure you want to do all of that? It's my fault, after all, that the wedding will be canceled. So I feel really bad having someone else go through all that work for me.
I don't mind at all. Leave canceling your wedding to me. So now take a nap and let Jared and I get to work. And I don't want you worrying about anything either.
Christy, how are you doing after the crash? I heard about it from Angelica, but she's saying that you want to cancel tomorrow's wedding?
I'm so sorry that I have to do this, Jared. I never thought that I'd get into an accident the day before the wedding. If it doesn't bother you to do it another time, can you work with Angelica to have the wedding canceled and everything?
And before we focus on the wedding, how is your insurance going to cover that? Do you have any idea how much money you'll get for the crash and for having to be in hospital?
Huh?
Not only did you happen to be the victim, but you also ended up with lots of cuts and bruising from the crash, right? And now you can't even have the wedding we planned on. You have to make sure that the man who did this to you has his insurance cover you and everything. If you can make that happen, you should ask for at least $50,000 in a settlement.
What are you talking about, Jared? I'm very upset about having to cancel the wedding, but you're talking about all the legal stuff right now? I didn't even get that badly injured, so the money I'd get wouldn't be much.
Huh? You sure? So you're not at least going to be getting like $25,000 for that accident?
I'll probably get enough to cover the car and the medical side of things. And since I'll have to be off work a bit, I suppose I'll get some money for the missed days. But please, don't think that I'm going to make out with a lot of money after this.
What the heck, Christy? There's no way you're only going to get that much after being the victim in a car crash. Especially when you got hurt worse than he did.
What? Your fiance just got into a car crash and you're going to talk to me like that? You shouldn't just be coming to me to ask about the money involved in all of this anyway, Jared.
Oh, shut up. If you want me to be more worried about you, then maybe you need to break a couple of bones. Then we might actually be able to get a lot of money. But getting into that crash to only come out bruised and cut is such a waste. Now we can't get crap from that guy.
Excuse me?
Ugh, I never thought that after all that you'd only come out with pocket change. At this point, you're making it sound like you don't even care about money. You were sure right about this affecting our wedding.
You're talking to your fiance like I'm supposed to be your money maker? If he had been going a bit faster, I might be dead right now, Jared.
Well, if he was going a lot faster, then my bank account would be loaded with money. Well, good luck with that lackluster recovery of yours. I'll have that wedding of ours canceled, and if I'm still feeling up to it, I might come see you there.
Christy, I have something to tell you about the wedding tomorrow. We're not going to be canceling it. Instead, the wedding will go to me now. We even made sure to call the chapel and told them I'd be the new bride now.
Huh? What do you mean the wedding is now yours?
I changed your information out for mine, and now I'll be the one marrying Jared. I was not just going to let the chance of chances slip between my fingers. It's like a dream right now for me.
Huh? Why are you going to be the one marrying Jared? He's my fiance, after all.
I'm sorry about that, Christy. But for a long time now, he and I have been secretly dating behind your back. He and I are like two halves of a heart.
What?
But since I was second in line for him to you, he said he couldn't just cancel the wedding with you. I was planning on giving up. But to think I'd be so lucky that my older sister would get into a car accident and leave the wedding for me to take. And this was all Jared's idea in the first place. He said he'd throw you away and marry me instead.
Huh? Wait. I can't even comprehend what I'm reading here. So, in other words, you're saying just that? You both have been dating behind my back for a long time now? That means you've been cheating on me.
I haven't been the one cheating because I really do love him.
And now he's saying that he'll throw me away and marry you instead? You're kidding me, right? What the hell is this? Why am I only just hearing of this now?
Well, come on, Christy. I've been wanting to get married for a while now. I had been looking for some kind of model to marry, but none even exist around here. So then I dropped my expectations to a good-looking man with money. And then I thought I could just become a housewife at that point.
You want to become a housewife?
For a while, I've been working a part-time job and trying to get modeling gigs of my own. So there's no way I can actually keep working after getting married, right? So when I think of that, I decided I had no choice but to find me a man that'll let me quit working and take care of me.
And so why does that mean you have to take my fiance? If you really want to get married, then find one of the thousands of other men that live around here to marry.
But having to date a whole bunch of men is a pain in the butt for me.
Huh?
I just wanted to get married fast. I've been thinking that maybe I'd spend a little time while with them and then marry while I'm still young and cute. When I was thinking that, I ran into Jared and we started to go out. When you and him had been dating for a bit and he finally came over to Mom and Dad's house to say that he'd marry you, that's when he and I started to date. My head was going crazy that day.
You are lying, right, Angelica? You've been after him ever since then?
He has the kind of face that I'm into, and he works for a huge company. So he really did turn out to be the man I was always looking for. I guess you could call him my destiny now that we're going to get married tomorrow.
There's no way you could use such a sorry excuse to cheat with your sister's boyfriend all that time.
Sorry excuse, huh? What do you mean by that? My whole life as a secondhand model was having to be with old creepy guys asking to take lewd pictures of me, and most weren't even good looking. So because of that, I wanted a proper man that looked good enough to be lewd for. And it's even better when that man can take care of me so that I don't have to work anymore. And after so long of dreaming about that, the chance came. Even if he's not a sexy model, he's working for a really nice company.
And so that's why you think it's fine to take your older sister's fiance and marry him? I can't even believe that you'd have him cheat on me. But now you're saying that you really wanted to marry him that whole time?
No matter what you try and say, Christy, Jared has already chosen me to be his wife. And at this point, the chapel has now been taken by us for the wedding. And I'll be the bride tomorrow. So now just be quiet and lay there in that hospital bed while you recover.
I see. Well, I'm happy for you both.
Oh, don't get so upset by this. I know that you won't be able to marry him now, but he's still going to become your brother-in-law. So now you can call him brother and everything, you know?
I'm not upset about this at all, actually. Really, if anything, I'm thankful that you came. You finally took the man that's been ridden with debt right out of my hands, so thank you. I'll make sure to think about the two of you while you get married tomorrow.
Huh? Ridden with debt? He is?
He was able to pay off a small chunk of it, but he's still left with another $60,000 to go, I think. It may be a while before you both can pay that all off, but at least you can be happy alongside him. Now, instead of it having to be me, you can be the one to care for his every need and support him financially.
Wait a minute. What do you mean by ridden with debt? And when you say he still has $60,000, you don't mean that that's the amount still needing to be paid off, right?
Well, to be honest, I only learned about all of this after we had decided to get married. Not even till after he had met our parents and I had met his. And not even until after we had made reservations for the chapel and everything. Once that was all over with, he had told me the truth. He told me right to my face that in the past he had trouble with money, and so he took out a lot of loans and then began to borrow more money to pay off those loans. It turned into a huge cycle and eventually landed him where he is now.
What? So after all of that, he decided to tell you about it? If it were any normal girl that he had told that to, they would have left him in a heartbeat. But in my case, we had already reserved that wedding chapel, and I had already told my parents and all my friends about the wedding. And by that point, I couldn't see myself breaking things off with him and running. In my head, I accidentally thought that without me, he'd never make it in this world. And that was my reason for really staying by his side through everything since that day. But because you came into the picture, my eyes have really opened. I finally saw that I had no need for a pile of garbage like him in my life and don't have to support him. But Jared is working for a huge company right now, right? So how come he's not able to pay off his debt with the salary he gets? If he were just going to take things a bit more seriously, he could pay all that debt off in a couple of months, right? Well, when it comes to Jared, he's awful with the money he makes. Whenever I'd ask that he save up a bit of money to start making payments, he'd go out and buy himself a high-end brand bag. Then he'd follow up by saying that because he works so hard at his job, he's allowed to splurge a little on the things he likes. But then he'd just go out and borrow more money and buy something that he doesn't need. What? And because of that, he has really put himself into a hole. He may have been able to pay off some stuff, but he always ends up borrowing more and goes right back to square one. Why is he such an idiot? Why would he do all of that if he needs to be saving money? Right? He really is such a dunce. But because of that, he and you will make such a great couple together. A man that's willing to hide his debt until he's about to get married, and a little sister that thought it was okay to steal her sister's fiance and wedding. What? So go ahead and have a wonderful time with Jared for me. I'm looking forward to hearing how that wedding goes tomorrow.
What the hell were you thinking? Hey, why the hell would you expose the fact that I'm in debt to her? Now Angelica's all over me with a crap ton of messages. She said she wants us to rethink our whole marriage. Why does a man like me, with an excellent job, have to be broken down by you?
Well, whether it was today or a week from now, she was going to find out, Jared. And on top of that, you really did a good job cheating on me with my little sister. I'll make sure that you pay me for breaking apart our plans for marriage.
What? You know that I'm neck deep in debts. There's no way you can say that to me. Do you think that I'll just borrow even more money to pay you for doing nothing wrong?
Well, I don't care if you have to borrow more or not. I just want you to take responsibility for everything you did to me.
Responsibility for what? I get that I happened to cheat on you for a little bit, but she was all over me like an angry wasp. So it's not fair to blame me for having a little fun.
Shut the hell up, you disgusting man. I bet the whole reason you chose to marry her in the end is because you couldn't get the insurance money you wanted after my accident, right? You weren't able to get a dime from me, and since I was canceling the wedding, you couldn't have me in your way anymore, right?
Well, that's,
But now that you've thrown me away, you can get married to my cute little sister. The woman that works a minimum wage part-time job and is trying to make it big as a model. Good luck making her your housewife after the wedding.
Huh? Wait a minute, Christy. What do you mean she's trying to make it big as a model? She told me that she's working as a top-tier model right now for high-end fashion brands.
Really?
I know that she's a model for a lot of things, but she told me that she's going to be making it big here soon in the modeling world. She even said that she'll be getting parts in some commercials for different high-end goods. She said that in no time she'll be making the big money from it all.
What is she talking about? I've never heard her say a thing about that. She's told me that all of those things are still a distant dream for her. And so while she works towards that, she goes and finds low-paying gigs with old men to have lewd pictures taken of her. I'd say last month she made somewhere between $500 and $600.
What?
So you're telling me that Christy told you all of those lies?
She did. That's everything she told me back then. And that's the whole reason that I decided to change to marrying her. Having her as my wife would make it 10 times easier to pay off all my debts since she had become loaded from all those modeling gigs. I'd also get myself a cute wife and never have to worry about buying anything I want ever again.
That girl really kept a lot of things hidden from you then, huh? But of course, you did the same thing to her.
Ah, crap. I can't believe she tricked me like that. This should have never happened to me. There's no merit in marrying some low-level model that does low-paying photo shoots for creepy old dudes. Why do I have to get married to a girl like that now?
And in any case, she saw little merit in marrying a man drowning in debt and spending all his money on things he doesn't need. So to me, this just sounds like both of you are being huge hypocrites about one another.
Huh?
Well, anyway, the two of you should start talking about what you'll do next now. And now I think I'm going to stop talking to you. My body feels like a brick and I need some sleep. And once things have calmed down for me, I'll be asking for that settlement from you.
Christy, help me. I was lied to by Jared.
What are you going on about? You just had your wedding and everything. So this means you guys went through with it, right? Why would you need any help from me when you should be oh so happy to marry the man of your dreams?
But it's about Jared. He's the one that lied to me and made me marry him.
Really? What do you mean by that one, Angelica?
Well, when I went to him about the debt he has to question him, he told me that he had just about paid it all off. He told me that you must have been confused about how much he owed and all that. He then repeated to me again that he had most of it paid off and that I could calm down.
Really?
And so that's why today I decided I'd be okay marrying him after all. I thought that if he was pretty much debt-free, then I could become his housewife with no problems. I really thought that with him working for the two of us, I could rest a while and take things more easily at home. But then the moment we got married and handed our paperwork in, he told me that everything about him having the debt paid off was a lie. He said that he hasn't put a single penny in for the last few months and that him and I could start paying it off together.
Wow, I wonder why the man that was a piece of crap would end up still being a piece of crap. I can't believe he lied to you again to get you to marry him.
This is really messed up of him, right? But then when I started to get upset with him, he told me I had no reason to since I had already lied to him. I had only changed a few things when I told him about myself, though. He told me that you told him that this was my fault.
Well, I never said this was all your fault. But what he said is true about you lying to him.
But then why the hell did I ever end up dating him in the first place? Why did I even think that stealing him in your wedding would be a good idea? You may think that this is my fault, but all I wanted was to become a simple housewife. But now he's telling me to start working again tomorrow to keep bringing in money.
Really? He wants you to start working even more?
He wants me working at some place starting at night.
At night?
He said he has a friend he talked to that would let me start working for him and to begin getting ready for that job. He told me that if I have experience being lewd as a model, I shouldn't mind becoming a stripper. And the money I make will all go towards paying off his debt. And then he finished by saying that that's my job as his wife.
That's so crazy of him that I can't even laugh at how messed up it all is. I wonder what his idea of a wife has been this whole time.
Christy, I'm going to divorce him now. I'll even give Jared right back to you. So please, help me get everything ready to divorce him so I don't have to become a stripper.
I don't think that's going to be possible, Angelica. I don't want a waste of money like that with me.
But he was your fiance, right? You have to still have some feelings for him, right? I'm sure there are still some things you like about Jared, right?
Not a single thing about him pleases me. Actually, being able to leave him was a godsend. I can tell that God himself is saying that him being out of my life was the right choice. He wouldn't have had me get hit by luck, literally, for nothing.
What do you mean getting hit by literal luck?
Well, the man that ended up hitting me at the intersection happened to be in a huge company with lots of money. And so, for hitting me and causing all the trouble, he gave me $100,000 to let things be.
What? $100,000? You were able to get all that money from him, even when you didn't get hurt that badly?
Also, the doctor I was with happened to be an old crush of mine from middle school. Man, I must have been destined to be hit yesterday. Being this close to him all the time now has really made my blood pressure rise, which isn't all that good while I'm trying to recover from an accident.
What? What is up with that? It's like something out of a movie.
I think that Jared was like some sort of thorn in my side for the longest time. But now that you have him, I wish you good luck being together. I'm sure that if you can pay off all his debt, you'll one day be able to become the housewife you've dreamed of becoming. But for the time being, enjoy showing random men your breasts. Right after that, just to keep myself out of their drama, I went and blocked the two of them on everything. From the rumors I've heard since then, those two ended up having a wedding where most of the people they invited never even showed up. But one of the people that did show up was one of the old men that was a fan of all her lewd photos. And he started posting online that she was supposed to marry him, yet she stabbed him in the back and married another man. And right now a whole ordeal is happening online over that. But right now, that once lewd model is now working 3 different jobs, and 2 of those are entertaining at strip clubs in town. Also with Jared, he's begun working a part-time the moment he gets out of his full-time job, all so that those 2 can pay off his debt really soon.
Thank you for watching all the way until the end. If you felt good after watching this video, please like the video. If not, please leave a comment and give us your feedback. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Your comments and likes help this channel grow. We hope you enjoy our other stories as well.